Hi, my name is Paul Vreugdenhil, and I'm the operations manager at the Machining Center. I want to thank Practical Machinists for giving this opportunity to be able to do my shop tours. The Machining Center has been in business for over 30 years, and I have worked for the Machining Center for over 20. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my own personal history. Obviously, we're going to be going for a tour around the machine shop. And we're going to be talking about how the Machining Center does business day to day and kind of who we are and what we like to do. So we've been in business for just over 30 years. The Machining Center was originally started by a couple by the names of Dick and Arlene Walters. So they found this location where we currently are. They moved here, like I said, just over 20 years ago now. And slowly started off expanding the business. We had some really good established customers, but what we wanted to do was expand into different sectors. So food industry, packaging, nuclear, aerospace, automotive. So what we've done is we've kind of really worked on spreading ourselves out through the different industries. So this is where material kind of comes into our fab shop. We've got a trailer in here right now that we're, I guess, doing a little bit of work to. Because we do such a wide variety of parts, you end up working on a trailer and, doing some modifications, and you end up working on a stainless hopper. And there's, again, just a wide variety of different types of materials that we're doing, and it always kind of keeps the guys hopping and challenges them and basically makes the days fly by because you're always busy doing something. Here's our laser that I had mentioned earlier. Great tool to be able to work with from design perspective, and again to quickly cut out materials that we're fabricating. Got a little bit more of equipment over here. Got an old Bridgeport impersonator, first mill, and handy to have in our fab shop as well. So over on this side of the wall, we've got a few more items here for the fab shop. So we've got a hydraulically driven roll here, which is really handy because the center rolls drive, and you can actually open that end piece up, and then the two outside rolls force the material up, so you can actually start bending in the middle of the sheet, or it's really handy for doing cones and tapers in sheet metal. We've got a hydraulic press over here, arbor press, and of course a brake. A nice good size for us. Anything bigger than this needs to be done elsewhere because it's just too big.
Yeah, Kevin Walters, I'm the owner of the Machining Center.
Aren't you kind of young to be an owner?
Yes, I am pretty young to be an owner. My parents formerly owned the business, and my wife and I have currently bought the business over from them. It's big shoes to fill, but we are doing our best. Started, from high school. I went to St. Lawrence College for 2 years of millwrighting. And then after that, I did an actual year of millwrighting, and it was okay. I didn't love all the work that I did.
Yeah.
Millwrighting. My wife is a dairy farmer, so then I spent the year pursuing dairy farming to see if that would be something that we would be interested in trying, and we decided that wasn't right for us either. So then I came the dream that I wanted to try to take over the business from my parents, and that's what I've done ever since. So for the last 7 years, I've been working every day at the Machining Center.
Yeah, you were here when you were a kid, kind of messing around.
I've worked here before I was legally supposed to. Yeah, now I've got my Red Seal welding apprenticeship done. That's what I was always into, whether it was skateboarding or mountain biking or building go-karts or racing lawnmowers or racing golf carts, like just all of the above. That's what I was really into. I've always been really hands-on. I like tinkering, and I like figuring out how stuff works and fixing stuff, and that's who I am, and that's where I'm from.
Yeah. So, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you is what is the most important skill for a welder? Is it like problem solving, mad skills, team player, admin skills, attention to details? Like, what's some of the ones that you would highlight?
I would say for me, one of the things that I would look for if I was going to hire a welder is, definitely problem solving is a big one.
Yeah.
There's some math involved with that. The math isn't so scary that you can't learn it. It's all fairly basic trigonometry, that sort of stuff.
What attracted you most to taking over the business from your parents?
I would say the biggest reason that Sarah and I decided to pursue the business and try to take it over is just because of how diverse it is. It is a lot of different stuff every day. Like, we're a job shop. We never know what we're going to be working on every day. And that has its challenges, but it also has its rewards. Like, everybody here really cares about what they do, and they always want to make sure that they're representing the machining center as well as they possibly can too. And there's just a lot of good stuff here that makes people want to come back more.
Yeah.
So,
What's your favorite fab shop thing to do?
I would say my favorite thing in the fab shop is just the forming, actually, on the brake press.
Yeah.
I really love that. It's like origami only with sheet metal. It's just I love bringing a part to life from seeing a flat layout like before we laser cut it, and then just like thinking how we're gonna build that, and then starting to bend the metal and like see it all come to life. It's just so cool. And I really love that part of my job.
That kind of reminded me of how important is it to have design capabilities for a fab shop?
So, design capabilities for a fab shop, I guess it depends on our project. It's definitely an asset for us in these new times. We have a laser cutter, and a big thing is everybody's going digital, right? The days of people going out and hand sketching stuff is becoming less and less. So for us to have a designer, it makes a huge difference, because then somebody can think that process through and do the flat layouts and figure out how, like, the most efficient way to cut stuff and how to form it, and like that makes such a difference. I hope that either of my sons share in the passion that I have for welding and machining, but it's hard to say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's a long ways off.
yeah, it's a long ways off.
So then I'm going to turn around here, and we're actually going to be moving up into the machine shop. Before we get over to that side, I had mentioned about doing heat treating, and over in this back room here, we've got our grinding equipment. So we've actually got surface grinder, 2 different sizes, that handy little manual guy, and then a mechanical hydraulic one over here. And as well, we've got 2 cylindrical grinders with different capabilities to be able to do our grinding after heat treat. So over here in this corner, we've got some odds and ends, a sandblaster, we have a couple punch presses. So we do a little bit of stamping work for a couple customers. As I mentioned before, we have a lot of different customers. So what we use is kind of a paint code system where we actually paint our leftover pieces of material. We have different storage areas, so you'll see different material racks as we walk around the shop. Moving from where we started over on this one side of the machine shop, so we actually call this like our lathe shop, although there's some other pieces in here. So we've got an old CNC, easy to set up. We run some repeat jobs on there. It's very straightforward, user friendly, let's put it that way. So we just keep it running. We have a Rimbati mill here. We picked up this a number of years ago at an auction. Very handy weapon to have. When you're without it, of course, you're really stuck, but again, it's not a high use item. You'll see that we've got an end mill stuck in here right now. We must have been doing one operation. Oh, I think they're actually working on this big rock crusher shaft. So we were asked to fix this one up, replace the end. So I think the guys threw it up there, had it hanging off the table, basically milled a spot in the end where they can put a replacement shaft, and that'll get welded up next week. So moving through our shop, on this side we've got some heat treat ovens, 2 different sizes. We typically use the one on the left for our high heat, and then the smaller one on the table for our drawbacks and for annealing purposes. We only do air hardening and oil hardening here, so we have a little dunk barrel you can see here with heat treat oil in it. So you'll see that we kind of have a mix of manual machines and CNC machines kind of mixed up. It's because of that variety of work. So we're kind of, always kind of moving work from one side to the next. And it's a workflow process. So we're kind of bringing in the material through the fab shop, cutting it up, preparing it, bringing it usually through the lathe side first, and then we end up going through our milling operations, possibly through CNC, and then kind of back out towards the front door. Again, it's handy to have the variety of materials. So for those of you that follow us on Instagram, it's really great to be able to have our different size machines, but also, as far as just the amount of work, sometimes you end up with peaks in your business. You end up with a whole bunch of manual lathe work. So we've got 3 manual lathes around the outside here. And then our CNC lathes are kind of in the center here facing each other. So our CNC lathes, we've got, both of them have bar feeders hooked up to them. And you're going, well, but you guys don't do production work. Again, like if you're running 20 parts, how easy is it to just throw a bar in there, a couple bars, and set up the machine and then have it feed out? Then you can start doing your programming on the next part. So this hard hinge is basically your typical multi-tool changing, no live tooling on this one. But really, again, easy to set up and run and do the programming. So then we've got our Nakamura here. We've got SC200L, so it's a good size for us. Just ignore the broken glass in there. 1 tap. And it was actually a 1/4-20 tap, came out, and it must have hit the glass exactly the right way, point first, and there you go, broken window. So Nakamura, we've got a sub spindle on here, full Y-axis, live tooling. What an awesome weapon. Moving away from our CNC lathes, we've got a little bit more material rack over here. Moving into this room, we've got 2 computers. So all of our guys that run our CNC machines do their own programming. So if you're doing 2 pieces or 5 pieces or 100 pieces, you're coming in here, you're doing your programming, you're either sending out to the lathe side or you're sending out to the mill side, and you're going over to the machines there and you're actually setting up the machine and running your program yourself and then going on to the next job. So coming through here, we've got our CNC mills. Back up here without running into something. We've got 2 3-axis machines here with the tool changers on them. We've got a 4th axis in this machine. Again, we don't get into a lot of high volume stuff. We actually do not have 5-axis machines. We get as far as our Nakamura Tome and our 4th axis. And so you've got our CNC mills here, but then you've also got another manual machine stuck right in between, because it's too handy if your machine is running and you're prepping some work for the next job to be able to jump over on the manual mill and prep some material for that. So over here, more CNC mills. We've got this old guy here. Wide open. We've had some really long pieces, like right over to the glass over there, but between the 2 ladders. Very useful machine to have the open concept, and yes, it doesn't have a tool changer on it. So you're actually manually changing. If you guys watch some of our videos again on Instagram, then you'll see kind of some of the jobs we get into. And then the other extreme, we've got this little speedster. So we're going through and we're just flying through super fast processing and speeds and feeds. And again, it's about the flexibility for us in all the variety of equipment we have. So we can do some heavier work, we can do some lighter work. We've got another little manual lathe. Put here with intention because it's too handy. If these guys are doing something, they need a little fixture turned up, maybe their machine's running over here on the mill side, they're gonna go ahead and jump over onto this little lathe here and prep something up so that they can have a fixture ready to go. Over that way, we've got back to our offices and the front door. So this is kind of where our shipping receiving kind of goes through. We've got this shop again for staging some of our shipping receiving, as well as doing assembly work and repair work. On this side of our assembly shop, we actually have this little production job. So this is a custom built machine and it's just set up for running one production job. So we have one guy that basically runs this. He also handles our shipping and as well as doing some maintenance around the shop. Our guy kind of runs this for the majority of the year and then helps out around the shop where else he can. And again, we've got one more Bridgeport over here, and this, yes, it is a Bridgeport. So you never know what we're gonna get in the shop. So here we're working on a new unit. We've got our plans up on the door there of the assembly. We've got our new green painted part there. Again, this is in our assembly shop. And so we're kind of laying out all the pieces. And the fun part about doing this work is we may get to make all the pieces and then we get to assemble it. You get to see your whole assembly when it's done. You're fixing little issues, details, you're making sure the fit is exactly right. And so what's awesome about this is you're gonna end up sending a product to your customer that is working properly. But then we're also going from that to crazy work like this, where we're having an older piece of equipment, a wire wheel assembly that our customer uses. So they shipped it over to us because they're having problems with the shaft being worn out. And you guys guessed it, it is worn out. So there we've got the worn out part and put in new bearings. So what we're gonna actually do is do some redesign on this. So instead of using the bearings we're using, go to a different design, maybe a little bit more robust, increase the diameter of the shaft a little bit, and then keep the rest the same. Right now, so this is Catherine. How long have you been working for us, Catherine?
2.5 years.
And how did you get started into machining?
I like working with my hands, so I went to school for it, and you guys picked me up from school.
So you had started off with welding though, right?
Yeah.
You went through college for welding?
Yeah, I couldn't find a job in welding in the area.
So what are you running? You're actually, can you show me a couple parts? And we're doing a milling operation and then turning?
Yeah, so just, it mills the round part and then just turns it, and then bores the hole. I hang on to the outside of it.
Yep.
So it keeps it from marking up my part.
Okay, so I got multiple choice questions for you.
Okay.
Make it easy for you. What do you like most about TMC? The donuts at coffee time, the pond out front of the shop, the team atmosphere, the variety of work, all of the above.
I like team atmosphere. Yeah, I'm not intimidated on asking questions.
Right, well that's good. That's good.
I like lathe work best.
So you do all your own programming and everything too?
If there isn't a program already done.
So we do a lot of repeat work, right? There's like small orders. How many pieces are you doing now? 40 pieces? Percentage-wise, how often would you get to do your own programming?
Yeah, probably.
About half the time, yeah?
Or you're just modifying it.
And so how many different machines do you run over on the lathe side?
I can run the 3 CNC ones and then the manual.
And then your manual lathes as well. And what's your percentage manual to CNC?
I'll go 70% CNC.
So how long have you worked here?
9.5 years.
9.5 years. And you love doing CNC work, right?
Not a chance in hell.
Not a chance. There you go. Laird's kind of our manual machinist guy. He's the one that does, if you're looking at our pictures on our Instagram account, a lot of funky setups, a lot of little manual operations, you know, following up some turning work sometimes. What do? You do grinding and...
Grinding, milling,
Some turning.
A little bit of turning.
So this machine's pretty nice. It has a variable speed drive on it and everything. It's got 3-axis servos. So we bought this machine a while back. It's not, you know, top of the line, but it's very versatile. Nice to work on, eh, Laird?
Yep.
So you're Ken. You've been working here how long?
Be a year on the 19th of August. I've worked at a bunch of different places, so I've been around. And I've done the CNC and I've done the manuals. And myself personally, I prefer the manual machine.
Manual machining.
This is one of the only companies I've actually worked for that does preventative maintenance.
We do annual maintenance on all our machines and make sure that there's no issues with them. So Ken's doing a little fix up on the tool post right now. Theater? Alrighty, so this is Arnold. How long have you been at the machining center, Arnold?
Just under 3 years.
3 years? Okay. Alright, what do you like about the atmosphere in the shop? Great teamwork, having to write non-conformances because you made a mistake. Low pressure, understanding owners. It smells nice, air-conditioned shop. You can pick any of those. Care to comment?
I like the air conditioning.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess
I think it's supposed to be 30 degrees outside today, right?
yeah,
Celsius?
exactly.
Yeah.
Welding and AC, so it's variety of work with the
Yeah.
team. Everybody's helping each other out.
What's Sam doing? So this is Sam?
Yeah.
How long you been working here?
Almost a year now.
Almost a year.
Last month of the year. I was thinking about going to college, but like this opportunity came up, I guess.
So what got you interested in welding?
I mean, I grew up on a farm, so like we did a lot of welding, and it's one of the more interesting things that we did on the farm for me. And I mean, did it in high school and loved it, so
Yeah.
I guess that's how I started to really get into it. Yeah, it's definitely a good environment, like best environment I've ever worked in.
Good?
Oh, really?
Alrighty. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, this is Artur. He's our engineer in training.
Yes.
Yes.
The team aspect of it is one of the best aspects in my opinion, and then the variety is really nice because there's always a new challenge and something.
Yeah. And well, for you as an engineer too, that's going to help you learn, right?
And especially young too, because then you get to see everything right from the start.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you like about the atmosphere in the shop? Great teamwork. Having to write non-conformance reports when you make a mistake. Low pressure, understanding owners. It smells nice, air-conditioned shop. And you can do whatever, which ones.
I like all of it. We recently switched the coolant, so it's a lot nicer when you're
Yeah.
out there walking around. Favorite tool around is definitely the laser, just because I've had a lot of time with it, and there's lots that I can mess around with it and
Yeah.
try and improve on it, especially since it's an older machine.
Yeah.
But I also do like when I get to run some mill and lathe work out in the shop as well.
You know, part of your job is obviously to do the CAD, right? But if you're doing a flat layout on sheet metal, then it kind of makes sense if you're also running a laser to do the programming and everything, right? So it's the whole flow through.
That's right. And then I also make the flat layout drawings or the 3D drawings of what the sheet metal is supposed to look like after
Yeah.
forming. So then after I cut it, I can give it to the vending guys,
Right.
forming guys, and the welders, and then they know where to go from there.
Okay, great, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
So I'm just gonna swing over here and we'll get Jay right away. Hi, Jason.
Hello.
This is Jason, our shop coordinator. So I'm going to ask you quickly the same questions. What do you like most about TMC? The donuts at coffee time, the patio front of the shop, the team atmosphere, the variety of work, or all of the above?
I'd have to agree with her and say all of the above.
Yeah, so the air conditioning does make a difference for us, right? Because we feel it really improves efficiency and everything.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can do their job without
Slowing down.
working up a sweat. And,
Yeah, yeah. So even our fab shop is air conditioned, by the way. So
mostly CNC milling
Yes.
is my favorite. And,
yeah,
and still like to get my hands dirty and doing that. So
yeah. So what percentage of like office to floor do you do?
depends on the week and the schedule. Right now, mostly, I would say probably 80% in the office. Kind of just do any overrun, anything that's needs to be done on time or get
Yep.
close to deadline, I'll step in and get done. When we're super busy, it'd be probably more like 75% on the mill and a little bit the rest of the office.
So that's even true for the guys on the floor, right? They're always kind of moving to the turning side to the mill side.
Yeah, wherever it's needed most, right? And
Yeah.
it's hard to keep both sides of the shop equally busy, so it gets overloaded with one side, and we'll just send more people over.
Yeah.
And it's-
So that's a challenge for training and stuff too, right?
Yeah, and it's nice to have the guys trained to be versatile like that can do work on either side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just also good for them for the variety that they enjoy too. Is
Yeah.
not to be stuck on one machine.
Yeah. Social media has benefited us in several different ways. Not only have we made some friends through social media, through Instagram specifically, but we have learned about tooling, we have found customers, we have found suppliers, and we've actually hired people from making connections through Instagram. Instagram has really been amazing for us because of that hashtag #InstaMachinist community. Initially, we started with social media because many years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, even as much as like 10 years ago, we would go into a company, you would meet the maintenance guy, the maintenance guy had some broken parts, he would give you some, paperwork, drawings, right? And you would take them back to your shop and you would start doing the job. And, things were done on the shake hands, kind of premise. And of course, there were corporations and you would start having to get POs, but you had that connection. You had that ability to be able to walk into a plant and speak to someone face to face. So when we saw that trend changing, we decided to try and, again, use social media to our advantage to be able to make connections with specifically buyers and some of our customers to be able to show kind of what we did. You can make a difference in your community and in your outreach and with your customers by having an Instagram account. I showed these tools mainly because, and you can see this one, the shear hog. This is an American-made tool. We're in Canada here. There's a good chance we would have never seen this tool if it wasn't for social media. So this is a great tool for us because it really has sped up our processes. It was a machining community and guys posting videos that has made the difference for us in finding out what tools are out there and what improvements we can make. Another story is we had this job where we had to drill a lot of holes. It was in half-inch aluminum, or a half-inch thick aluminum, 7/16 holes. There's 8 holes per plate, and we were doing hundreds of plates. And I know I talked about not doing production work, so we're trying to do this job within a couple of days, we're thinking, or even quicker. What I did was I made a post on Instagram and I asked the machining community, what's the best drill to use for this application? And I got 20, 30 comments right away. This is already a few years back. And I tallied up the results. We got a few quotes on different types of drills. And we ended up buying this one from Fullerton, which is basically just a carbide 3-point drill. And it cost us a lot for what we're used to paying for one drill bit. But we haven't had it sharpened. We've done multiple orders of the same job. And that job cut our time down from what we were thinking would be a day and a half or so of running these aluminum plates. It cut it down to about 6.5 hours just because we found out what a good solution is for drilling. And big thanks to the machining community on Instagram. We really appreciate some of the help. We're hoping that we're helping others out there, showing some of the stuff that we do, and just again talking about the community and supporting each other. So thank you very much, and we appreciate this opportunity from Practical Machinists to be able to talk about that. So we've got this clock over here, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to point that out because what we've done is we bought the clock, it had the gears on there, but then we decided we would actually use it as a way of displaying past employees. So we've got Dick and Arlene at the very top cog there, and then Casey on the left and Barry on the right. We got JP and Chris down at the bottom. So as our employees retire, we actually will add cogs to the clock and basically just laser cut out and spray painted. So kind of a cool idea. So we just put in the solar field. This is running our entire shop. There's 3 rows of it back there. Totally amazing when you think about the changes in times. I never thought that our shop would be run by a solar field. So you just never know what changes are going to happen in the future. The way we look at it is always watch out and look for what opportunities the future is offering and take advantage of some of those. So I want to thank Practical Machinists for this opportunity for us to be on my shop tours. This has been a great opportunity for us. I love the Machinist community on Instagram and on the internet. Practical Machinist has been a help to so many machinists out there. And for those watching this video, if you're looking into getting into the skilled trades, do it, because there's so much opportunity here. I know in our area we are constantly looking for skilled trades people. We are looking for people that are looking for a career in problem solving and figuring things out and being able to work with their hands, but also work with computers and with technology. Different videos on Practical Machinists and all their posts. There is so much going on, and it's just a great time to be a machinist.